It's a challenge of a short week, and I know you guys had a flu bug going through last week. Or you feel like you're over that?
Yeah, we had both flu and strep throat last week, so it was really kind of all hands on deck by our medical staff. We still have some guys, we had a couple guys that tapped out today, not tapped out, like tapped out in the bad way, like we're out because of strep throat, but they were mainly non-travel guys. I mean, like Marquise Buford, Sierra, if you could put a camera on me, I kept putting my arm around him the whole game. I was like, I'll give you tomorrow off. Just get through this game, buddy, because he was playing corner, he was playing gunner, he was playing jam run, punt returner, he was just dying, right? Like, so, obviously, him and Marquise Buford got back, but they were just not feeling great. So I think we're much healthier this week. The challenge of a short week, obviously, is just kind of, you lose a day. So, today we went out there, we practiced like it was a Tuesday. Tomorrow we'll practice like it's a Wednesday. Typically, I don't do that, but because of also the Thanksgiving component of this and some of the things that we'll do later in the week, we treat it this morning like Tuesday.
How much better does Iowa's run offense this year compared to last year? What's challenging about it in general?
Well, they've always been, to me, like when I first learned how to run outside zone, I go all the way back to learning from Rick Kaczynski, who I know coached here as well. He was a great D-line coach, but learning from him, learning from Coach Ferentz, that's how I first learned, the way that I've always taught the run game. So, they've always been the premier outside zone team, counter team in the country. I think Caleb Johnson's playing at an unbelievably high level. They've got a veteran offensive line. I think Coach Lester's brought in, they're doing a lot of what you see NFL teams doing. Like they're running the ball to the open side, then checking it versus any 4-week threat to zap to the front side. So a lot of us who've been in the NFL, it's kind of what we know, and they're doing it really, really well. And I don't want to underestimate. This back is fantastic. He makes people miss, and he can burst and go the distance. They've kind of done it two different ways with Sullivan out there because he was a running threat. They were doing it one way. With McNamara out there, it was a little bit different, and I think that's the mark of great coaches. Whatever quarterback's been out there, they've been able to do it. To staying in the same scheme, but whatever fits that quarterback. And then now, as we're not sure who the quarterback is, they've kind of had a hybrid model in between. So I think they're doing a really good job, and they've run some people off the field just by running the football down their throat.
Just what will you find about your offense playing in colder conditions? You guys haven't had conditions that are going to be this cold. It's going to be a night game, obviously, late in the year.
Yeah, I don't worry about the weather. We go in the mornings here, which is great in some ways. But in the spring, there's plenty of days that we're out there and there's 30-mile-an-hour winds and it's 18, 20 degrees. It was 22 degrees last week. It was cold as could be out. Today was I'm wearing. You never see me wear a jacket. I wore a jacket out there today. It's cold today. Where we practice, last week, we were throwing. It was 35-mile-an-hour gusts, and we were throwing into the gusts. The way Dana does 7-on-7, he goes this way for half, then this way for half, and our guys are tough. Iowa's guys are tough. I think the game will come down to football. I think our guys will, if there was maybe ice on the field or snow, it might be a little different. But I feel pretty good about our ability to handle the cold, just because we do it in the spring and then we do it again in the fall. We don't really ever go inside unless I really need the crowd noise from the indoor.
You mentioned Tommy Hill last week shut down for the year. Is there anybody else that's moved on or not with your shutdown the rest of the season?
You guys asked me about Malachi the other day. Malachi came in and I hope it's okay. I just didn't want to talk about that on Thursday, right? I thought that was more important of the game, but Malachi came in, let us know he was going to go in the portal. So obviously wish him the best. Great young man, local guy. Had some really big moments for us last year. Was redshirting and developing, and I think what we're going to this year, I think we're going to probably end up with between 30 and 50 guys in the portal. Just with the roster and all things that are going to have to happen. So, wish Malachi. I can't say anything but great things about Malachi, and obviously he's not one that I wanted to go in the portal, but I really don't want any of them to go in the portal. I want them all to stay here and develop. It's just the new world we're in. It's going to be different. So, in terms of anyone else. Everyone's kind of practicing with us. Tommy's the one that we just kind of shut down, and Mike is fighting through his shoulder. He's done a great job of battling through that shoulder that kind of limits him a little bit. Everyone else is kind of battling. Marquise Buford, like I said, battled through the sickness last week. So I think everyone else is up and healthy and ready to go.
What have you seen in terms of the progression on special teams, and how important will that be Friday with a team like Iowa that field position so important?
Yeah, I think like I said, I've really studied Coach Ferentz, and I have so much respect for what he's done. And from the fact, he'll take the ball. A lot of guys will defer. He'll take the ball to have the win in the fourth quarter, and the way that they'll play field position, the way that they'll punt the ball down. It's very much like when you're in the NFL playing all the Coach Belichick and all his coaches. Because when I was there, you'd play Joe Judge, you'd play those guys. It's really difficult, and they have a great punter, they have an elite returner, they've got great special teams, and it'll be a real challenge. And on a game like this, a Friday night in the cold, those things show up, and that's why they win the close games. They're very comfortable. To me, like it's almost like for them, like the game doesn't even start till the second half begins. It's like they're very comfortable playing in a close game, and they know who they are. And I really enjoyed watching that from them. So, Brian's been really punting the ball well. We've been more consistent in terms of catching punts and not letting balls roll down and having us in bad field position. We had some 2 returners out there last week to try to get Jacory loose. So we'll try to have our best plan possible. My only thing to the coaches is like, hey, do whatever you guys want. Just make sure it's something we can execute. Let's not go out there and try to solve the world with a pencil. Let's let our guys go out and execute. And so, whether it's Carter Nelson running down a kickoff and tackle him at the 20, hopefully we can make some plays versus probably the premier special teams unit in the Big Ten.